And on that note, why don't we get into our headline topic for the day, which is the update on the LTT hackening. The source for this topic is, of course, Reddit.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, they seemed to know about it before I did. And I want to kind of treat this as a little bit of Q&A. I'm sure, Dan, I haven't checked. I noticed that about a bazillion merch messages have hit you already.
So you know how last week we had 400? Mm-hmm. We've been live for 44 minutes.
Whoa!
I see. And there are 350. Okay, I don't even know what we're launching this week, but whatever it is, you guys are apparently very excited about it. Well, I know that's one of them. The point is, Dan, do we have any merch messages that you could feed me with that are kind of Q&A about what went down?
Oh, you want some softballs? Yeah, here we go. Where was it?
I want softballs to go with my soft.
Did you guys hear that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
He's probably been typing like a merch message response every 17.3 seconds, so his knuckles were
One
tied
of the
up.
first ones that we got is from Carlos. What came out of this that you most appreciate?
Oh, that's... Wow, you did tee up some softball questions. Good work, Dan.
You're very welcome. I'm sure you're exhausted.
I've thought about this a fair bit because I've had a couple people come up to me internally and ask, you know, I know that you didn't do this on purpose, but are you glad it happened? And my response has been, if you told me that I could trade a night's sleep for 5,000 Floatplane subscribers,
more than that,
a banger 4 million view video, a D-brand sponsorship, and probably something else, you know, being trending on Twitter for an entire day. If someone said, would you trade a night's sleep for all of that? I would say yes.
Yeah.
But if they asked me, would you trade a night's sleep in a state of panic? I would say, gee, I really don't know about that.
I had a blast.
See, I know you're in your element.
I loved it. I had a wonderful time.
I didn't even ask him. Okay, so he's up at 4 in the morning or whatever, messaging, like just on the line with me and Yvonne. Okay, what can I do? Can I like go to the office and retrieve this device that we need, or like check whatever? I didn't even ask him if he was going to be on time for work. I suspect you never even went home.
Oh, no, I didn't. No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was up for, what was it? So it's 41 hours.
Yeah, Luke often talks about missing the early days of Linus Media Group, not in spite of, but because of the state of this constant state of existential crisis that we had. Like the whole thing could dissolve at any second if we didn't go.
When we were, we'll get to this later. We'll get to more details of this later.
Some of us had children we had to worry about supporting, okay?
And that was great because then there was more for me to do. At one point in time, we're on the line with a developer from Google and our support contact from Google. Both wonderful, very helpful people. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
We're on the line with them, and I'm working with them to like restore the status of the various accounts. And James, I don't know if he said it through voice or if he typed it out, but he's like, "You're having a really good time." I was like, "Yeah, this is great. I do this all the time. Like, let's do this in another week or two."
This my jam.
I am feeling, like I said, I was up for 41 hours. I'm a little older now than when we used to do that a little bit more frequently. Yeah. And, you know, the recovery isn't quite there. I'm feeling a little haggard today.
Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I loved it. It's great.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a culture that you kind of cultivate in your team.
Oh, dude, because I asked none of them.
I am so
sick.
I am so upset that I missed Luke's call at 4 a.m. because I would have been here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, man.
Okay,
it's great.
So I didn't ask anybody. Joe, I knew was on it because I saw him in the Discord chat dealing with stuff, and then I checked like the ticketing system and I see him just chugging through stuff. He never even checked with me. He just started working at like 3:30 in the morning and checked in way later in the day and was like, "Yep, haven't slept, doing tickets." I'm just like, Sick. No, I never asked him to do it. He's just doing it. AJ's in early. Everybody's like in early. I didn't ask anyone to come in early. Everybody's working late. I didn't ask anyone to work late. They're just like, yeah, there's problems. We're fixing them. I sent a message in our like, here, let me read it out. Because it was actually so,
While he looks that up.
I love this stuff.
Here's the problem, okay? Floatplane, our video platform, for those of you who are not, the few of you who are not watching on Floatplane, because as far as I can tell, everyone's watching on Floatplane right now. Yeah. Floatplane is our in-house video streaming platform that has grown astronomically, like 5,000 new subscribers, more than that in the last 24 hours. We set a stretch target, okay, for the social team. We set a stretch goal. In fact, I don't even think we had told the team yet, but Colton and I were talking about it. Hey, maybe we could set like a stretch goal of 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Is that reasonable? Is that something they could? We're at 39,715.
At our current rate, we might pass that before I go to sleep.
Yes. And so anyway, it's been incredible. But the problem with adding that many new users, okay, fresh users who are looking at it now, is that it puts strain on systems that you might not even realize because they're all on the site all at the same time. For example, the chat. We've had an issue that we've known about for a long time, where if the chat rate is too high on Floatplane, it doesn't automatically scroll down to the latest. You have to like manually click it to scroll down all the time. Well, it was never a problem because not that many people were watching. But I actually noticed last night when I did my Welcome to Floatplane stream, because I had noticed we had 5,000 new people, and I figured, geez, these guys all came onto Floatplane to show their love.
Maybe we should say hi.
They came on to be the first to know what's going on. Should they really be finding out in a YouTube video? The answer to that is no. I'm very tired. I'm very hungry, but I'm going to go on Floatplane. I'm going to do a stream. Yeah, hang out with you guys for a little bit. Thank you for showing up. And I noticed that I had to constantly fix the chat to go down to the bottom. I'm like, I've never seen this issue before. And that's just because we have so many more people on the site. So the team has pushed extremely hard.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so I sent, what? It went away. Oh, no, I know where it is. Give me 1 second.
He's got this. His brain is just operating at the same speed as his horrible phone that he hates.
I sent this message. I don't even know when this was because time at this point is an illusion. But I think it was last night, technically. Great job, everyone. Huge effort from everyone involved. Was extremely proud of everyone stepping up to get stuff done and keep us moving forward despite the issues and massive influx of users. Was a great reminder of how this team is very much made of people I enjoy working with. And I love those types of reminders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, stuff just starts hitting the fan, and when you don't even, like, have to ring the bell, everyone just shows up and is like, I'm on it. That's so cool. It's so sweet. Also, yeah.
AJ and Jaden in the chat here talking about even newer features.
Yeah. Did you even know about that?
You said something about low latency streaming on Floatplane, but I didn't know we were rolling it out.
So,
are we just pushing things to prod now? Like, is that how we manage Floatplane now?
Some of the
so what, we make you CTO of Linus Media Group, you get all busy with password migrations.
Let's push to prod on Fridays!
And everything just completely goes to hell in a handbasket over on the Floatplane side. Are you saying you can't do 2 jobs at once and host the most popular tech podcast in the world? Are you saying I ask too much? Or do I ask too little? Because you seem to be having the time of your life.
It's great. One of my family members reached out with like concern because they saw everything going on, and they're like, "Are you doing okay?" And I'm like, "This is awesome." Trust me, I'm good. I was commenting to someone because they're like, "How haven't you fallen asleep yet?" At like hour 35 or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm good actually. Just if I stop working, I'm done. But like as long as there's something to do, I'm just gonna keep cruising." Yeah, it was good. It was good. I do have a bone to pick with you.
Oh.
We have to fight.
Okay.
But I think we should... Do we want to recap people on like what happened, or do we just assume they know because the internet was real on top of this?
Yeah, I couldn't believe how viral this went. I mean, shout out our forum moderators, right?
Yeah, and Discord.
I have never... When I dropped in on the thread about this, I assumed that people were discussing the hack in some like ancient thread and off topic that's just been around
'cause
for
it was so
years.
deep. Yeah.
Because it already had like 70 pages or something like that.
The second it happened, everything else we had just got slammed. Like tons of people hit the store, tons of people hit the forum, tons of people hit Floatplane. People were just like, how's everything else doing? And they wanted to talk about it and stuff, which, I mean, that's great.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But I just the fact that everyone, again, like the forum moderators are another example of a team that went into disaster response
Just
mode
immediately.
without me even acknowledging that they are working so hard as volunteers in the community. Like, just thank you very much, everyone. I forget where, like you, my issue right now.
The brain's a little fried.
Is that I actually can talk myself past my RAM buffer in my brain and no longer have any idea how I started even the sentence that I am now trying to complete. So I don't know what I was talking about anymore.
Yeah, we're both not as great at recovering from lack of sleep as we used to. Because I actually bet you this would not have been a problem back in the day. And I can't help you because I'm in the exact same situation.
Cool.
The other thing that I can't do right now is multitask like at all. I've noticed if I start working, I can't hear.
Right. We're supposed to be doing the series of events.
Okay.
So it happened. The internet exploded. I can give you guys a little bit more detail. In the video, I wanted to keep everything actionable. Here's what's actionable for our team, because I know every person in this building watched that video. There's no way they didn't. And here's what's actionable for Google, because I know that video is making the rounds at Google. So I wanted to really focus on what we can do differently, what they can do differently. How do we solve this problem? And it's a huge problem. I actually had the creator of, here, let me just find my Discord here. I had the creator of, where's this damn message? Crap.
Same problems.
How do you just find...
There's a search.
Yeah, I just don't even know which Discord I was in. Here it is. Okay. The creator of Filmot.com, which is a super cool... Oh my God, my folding phone. It just dropped me into a completely different Discord. Okay. The creator of a super cool site, Filmot.com. It's a subtitle YouTube search. So you can search YouTube videos by their subtitles.
Interesting.
So if you want to find every video where I said, "Dang it, Luke," you can just key that in, and it'll bring it up, including the timestamp.
Very interesting.
So cool. Anyway, because he archives and my words. Because he archives subtitles, you can actually search his tool for certain keywords that might indicate that a channel has been taken over. So he has a feed of videos that are being added and deleted on about 20 million channels, not the entire site, and he can extract channel name changes which can indicate hacked and taken over channels in history. And this is really cool because he sent me this message that I was totally afraid to open because I thought it might be a PDF, an executable disguised as a PDF, right? But he sent me this this text file that has every channel in the last 10 days that had its name changed to Tesla Live or Tesla Motor, something with Tesla in it, how many subscribers it has, and look at this list. This is last 10 days.
Yeah. Well, I showed Jake this thing that you can do, which is really straightforward. And I think you guys ended up showing it in that video. But if you just search on YouTube Elon Musk, and then there's not the most obvious thing in the world, but there's a filter button, and then it expands different ways that you can filter, and you filter by live. And you just scroll through and you look through thumbnails of his face, or thumbnails of that Zoom call, or thumbnails of some SpaceX stuff, because there's SpaceX versions of what happened to us.
Yep.
They're just everywhere. And tons of them have like 5,000 people watching. It's not a small number. There's like at least 5 or 6 you'll find, and then you scroll a little bit more, you'll find 5 or 6 more constantly, just 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, all over the place.
So
it's crazy.
This is a huge problem that needs to be fixed, and the only reason that we haven't raised the alarm about it before is I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just in my bubble and working on my stuff, and I just don't notice these things, but this is disastrous. So I can give you guys a little bit more detail about, what things were like in the war room. First of all, when two entities are in an account at the same time, trying to make changes at the same time, things can get a little janky. And one of the reasons that I wasn't able to lock things down was that I immediately went for, okay, the 2FA is compromised, right? Okay, it's got to be the 2FA is compromised. They've got to be in the account. But because the account that was breached was not linustechtips@gmail.com, not the actual channel owner account, all of the attempts that I was making,
resetting that 2FA, all that kind of stuff does nothing.
Not just that, okay? Not just that. Not only was resetting 2FA and resetting a password not helping, but even revoking all the devices that were logged in was not helping.
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people, I think, in their responses to this don't realize. Like, Linus, as soon as you realized something was wrong, why didn't you just revoke every signed-in device? Because it didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
And so, and you got to remember, too, it's 3:30 in the morning. I have foggy, I've been sleeping brain. I am laser focused on figuring out how to secure my 2FA, because I think that it's pretty, self-explanatory that I don't have a completely separate two-factor authentication system for every single account, right? So the YouTube account was not the only thing I was concerned about. So I'm sitting here going, I'm checking other accounts. Is anything else compromised? Is anything else breached? And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to lock them out of LTT. The LTT account was not how they got in. Then I realized I don't know how to use the content manager system.
Yeah.
I didn't set it up. Colt set it up. I don't know. Maybe I should have just called him in the middle of the night, but I didn't. Because I thought, okay, I can probably figure this out. It's just a matter of like resetting passwords and lock it down. But it took me a while to figure out how to manage who has access to a particular channel through Content Manager. Then, and this is something I didn't want to throw at YouTube at the time because it just didn't feel constructive. Once I did figure out how to lock people out, whether it's a flaw of the system, whether it's because our account had been flagged in some way, I couldn't lock it down. Even once I knew. So the way it works is with your, Linus Media Group email, you're assigned a role, some kind of role that gives you varying levels of access to the various channels. And the Linus Tech Tips one, because it has so many people who work on it, even in an uploader capacity, because like the business team, for example, uploads sponsored videos. The writers upload non-sponsored videos. Like there's all these different workflows and there's all these different reasons that a lot of people do need to have some level of access to it. The Linus Tech Tips one has quite a few people that have some role or another. And because I had finally figured out the vector, I was trying to lock it down and it would time out every single time. So even once I knew.
Yeah, that one's rough.
That's why the additional channels went down. Even once I knew, I couldn't stop it. And now, fortunately, as we made our way into the smaller channels, there were fewer and fewer people who had roles, and we were able to lock them down. That's why we only lost LTT, TechLinked, and TechWiki. Because obviously these scammers wanted to go for the biggest channels first.
I'm kind of surprised.
That's a huge problem.
They didn't take, like, not even that much extra time. I probably shouldn't put ideas in people's heads, but not even that much extra time and just hit all of them at once. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a good question. There were a few things that were very confusing to me, especially because I wasn't familiar with this sort of attack where they hijack your session token from your browser and then act like they are your browser, even though they're accessing it from somewhere else. Now, here's something that I'm really confused about, because I've encountered this on many accounts, and unfortunately, I've never thought about it, so I don't know if I've ever seen it on a Google account. But when you access a service with a token that was created somewhere.
So IP stuff. So as far as my understanding goes,
Like, are they just VPNing through somewhere that they think is probably close to me and hoping that the token will last? Or
I did see that when looking through a bunch of logs and stuff, I did see that certain device connection things were coming from Vancouver, Canada.
I see.
I don't know if all of them did. I remember at one point in time talking about a device connecting from a certain country, but I don't know if we were the person and I that were talking. I don't know if we were just like using that as, you know, a country that's far away,
Yeah.
or if that was actually a connection that happened.
Right.
But I don't know that Google, I have heard from other people, but this is entirely hearsay at this point, so I really don't want to claim it as anything.
Yeah.
That Google doesn't really do IP checks on those cookies.
Right.
Because the conversation that I had with this person was they were going, wow, I'm always surprised that Google doesn't do this because all these other services do.
Well,
but I don't know if that's true.
It makes sense. Well, here's the thing, right? Like, if the geographical location changes dramatically, then it's kind of a no-brainer. But if they're VPNing,
if they're coming into Vancouver
through somewhere close to you, then I mean that could be something as simple as, you know, switching from your Wi-Fi to your friend's Wi-Fi. You don't want to log back into everything.
We do know that. Oh yeah, no, okay. There was definitely one connection that happened from Germany, for sure. We saw that.
Right.
That's I don't know if that had anything to do with the Google accounts or anything else, though. I know that happened at one point for one thing. If any of the Google accounts, and that one that came from Germany was from a VM provider in Germany. Very trackable.
Right.
In my opinion, it wouldn't
You mean
be,
VPN provider?
What did I say?
You said VM provider.
Yeah, I meant VPN. Sorry, a little. He got it. We got there. If they used a VPN provider to get to a node that's in Vancouver, personally, I would throw crazy red flags on an account that went from its rough location to pretty close to its rough location.
Well, yeah, I mean, if Netflix can do it.
Yeah, like make them re-log in. You don't have to, like, you know, go nuclear, but just make them re-log in.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, maybe don't, you know what? Maybe don't even make them have multiple factors. Or maybe make that something you can configure. But do something.
Make them do 2FA or something, yeah.
Or don't
like
make them do 2FA.
Their TOTP code or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe just make them put in a one-time code.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I would consider that to be something.
Just some form of like, hey, something weird happened. Are you good?
Yeah, we couldn't help noticing
that
there was some weird stuff. Yeah, oh man, that was another really frustrating one.
I don't know 100% what they do, though. So
As part of the lockdown attempts that I was making, I was trying to change the recovery phone number on the linustechtips@gmail.com account. Because I thought, you know, maybe that had been compromised, it's SIM hijacked or something like that. And it was erroring out every time. And I was just like,
come on!
And
now's a bad time.
And part of the error out was that as I was doing it, it was trying to re-authenticate me. And I'm like, okay, now you do it. But then it was causing it to error out. Come on!
Okay. So
I was extremely angry and extremely naked. I was as angry as I was naked.
So I was too, and sometimes I really laugh at the similarities between Linus and I, because like we're different in a bunch of ways, but then certain things are just like, wow, that's really oddly identical. Because our response was literally matched. The second I figured out I didn't call you immediately. I don't remember exactly how it went. But I tried to verify because someone informed me and I was on my phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to like get to my computer. I'm tired. Like I need to get downstairs, get to my computer, make sure this is real. And then I called you afterwards.
Yeah.
But I just immediately bounced out of bed, grabbed like my clothes from the day before that was on my way out, so it didn't take me any extra time, did not bother to put them on, immediately ran downstairs, sat at my computer, and just dropped the clothes next to me and started working, and didn't recognize until, like, I think it was an hour and a half later.
Well, you're not going to be cold when you're juiced up on adrenaline.
Yeah, no. And like, but my roommate's door to his room is directly behind my desk.
Oh, he could have seen some stuff.
So he wakes up at 4:30 every day. He's an early bird. He wakes up and gets in the shower.
Yeah.
And I hear the shower turn on. I'm like, okay, time to put on clothes. But I didn't know you were. I was similarly naked for the first like hour and a half of this thing. hilarious. I find that very funny. Yeah.
Because I was like, I couldn't even figure out. So here's another thing too. We've been undergoing a password migration recently.
Yeah.
I couldn't even figure out how to get, there were accounts that I couldn't get into, not because any hijacker had them, but because I didn't have the right credentials anymore. And so part of what I was panicked about was you guys were telling me it was something or something. You guys were telling me things. And I was like, hold on a second. I think they're in another account, but maybe I can lock this one down. Shut the up. I'm trying to.
It was a very chaotic call. Okay, so where are we at in the timeline then? Because I think that's still technically what we're doing.
It's chaos in the middle of the night.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You, I, and Yvonne are involved.
Hey.
You and I are naked. For some reason, she still has her clothes on.
Hey, we can make it work. Okay, so what time? So we're struggling with accounts. There's still the question, because there was.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into why this time,
Yeah.
but there was a reason why we were concerned about 2FA stuff.
Yes.
So I fire off to the office.
It was something to do with something.
Yes.
And it was also something to do with why I was having trouble figuring something out. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what time that is. I'm not even going to bother looking it up.
Doesn't matter.
But I fire to the office, and I start... I don't know if you get this type of feeling, but while I'm driving there, definitely at legally approved speeds, on the road...
Don't do that.
I start getting... Yeah, sure.
You're no good to me dead.
I'll make it.
I always drive the speed limit.
I wonder who I got it from. What was I going to say? Yeah, while I'm driving there, I had this like wave of, I don't even necessarily want to call it emotion, but feeling wash over me, where I recognized that like, this is sick. And like, I knew it was horrible, but I'm flying to the office. There's like cars on the road because people are waking up to go to work. I've been awake for more than a day, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I don't know necessarily exactly what's going to happen. I run out the door, and my girlfriend's awake because like I'm freaking out, so she can't fall asleep easily. And as I say bye to her, run out the door, get to the car, get to the office, all this kind of stuff. Once I figure out the first thing that I was there for, there was now a second thing that I was there for. And I was like, whatever, I'm just going to buckle in. I'm here all day. So I grab what I need from where I first started, go to where my desk is at, and then realize like, I have no food or water or anything. So I start looking around and there's nothing in the office ready to go. So my girlfriend on her way to work a few hours later drops by and brings me this like care package of a change of clothes, deodorant, a toothbrush, and an entire set of like food and drinks and everything I need for the full day, which was sick. That was a banger of a move. That's a way to gain a lot of brownie points with me. So I was set and ready to go, and then I just cranked it out for the rest of the day. We had to do a lot of stuff. There was a huge amount of coordination that had like 6 or 7 different email threads that had to bounce back and forth between you and James and me and Google.
We had a plan for what video was supposed to go up that day.
Yeah.
At let's see, sometime in the morning. You know, it's good. You should have gotten a writer credit. You did do work on it.
I actually was really surprised I got one because Jake did like 85, 90, 95. I don't know, some massive percentage more than me. I was mostly just there like validating things.
Yeah. So at some point in the morning, I went into content creator brain mode and I sent this message. We're clearly not uploading framework today. I have to go in. I had to go in early because we were shooting something at 10 with a viewer, so that had been scheduled. But I basically go, we need to be on this as early as possible, but the outline is basically this. Size is not necessarily an advantage. Saw some speculation that our size, we must have some kind of Uber systems or whatever, and we're better equipped than most small channels are, but the larger you are, the larger the attack surface. Can use examples like the way that it came out that some large companies were writing checks to contractors for hundreds of thousands of dollars without realizing that the invoices were totally bogus. Do you remember that scam? The more people, the more potential vectors for attack. 2FA. You guys talk about it all the time. Don't you use it? It's not perfect. Discuss problems with 2FA. Factors can be compromised. For convenience, we often have multiple secondary factors, which increases the attack surface again. And most importantly, almost every account still has text/email as an automatic account recovery system of some sort, both of which can be vulnerable. So so what? It was simjacking again? How could you be stupid enough to fall for that again? And how is this even a video? Actually, no, it's not the same as last time. Detailed explanation of session hijacking and how that could be used to gain access to an account temporarily and even change credentials. We'll need help with this. I have that in bold. Apparently, I didn't remember that I did get help with that, so that's cool. Something that wouldn't have been nearly as effective if it wasn't for our content manager system. Shout out what YouTube did well. Shout out what YouTube could do better with detailed, blah, 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 blah. It's clear that we have disaster response processes to improve. I realized at 4 in the morning or whatever. Shout out Steve from Gamers Nexus. Here's what's going to happen. I think that was shortly before I put together the kids' lunches because Yvonne basically was like, okay, I'm going through and changing all the accounts, which I guess meant she's working with you to change all the accounts.
Which meant that Dan did most of it. Yvonne did all of the ultra high threat, recently screwed over account stuff, meaning she did all the channels and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then Dan power suit one password every 1.2 minutes. I'm going to type and look nowhere else other than my screen for 16 hours, all the remaining accounts, which was fantastic because I planned to help him. And then there was just way too much other stuff to do.
So I prepared lunches for the kids for school. And I think this happened sometime either before or after that. So this is 7 something, I guess. Man, so then I came into the office. I was in content mode, right?
At this point in time, sorry, I need to pull us back slightly for 1 second. At this point in time, we have identified, so I think it was mentioned earlier, it wasn't the primary account. It was an account who had access to multiple different channels that we have. So at this point in time, we have identified whose account it was.
Oh, that was frustrating.
We've identified what computer it was.
Yeah.
We've identified that person is online communicating with me. They're helping me figure stuff out.
Google knew for hours which account it was, but never communicated that to us except via an automated system that thankfully Yvonne happened to get a notification from. It wasn't, they didn't tell us, hey, it's this one, turn this computer off, anyway.
Yeah. I ran over and unplugged it, and it's hiding by my desk now so that people don't plug it in and stuff. But yeah, so at this point in time, we have a lot of the information. We know the exact attack vector. We know literally the file. We know the name of the file, all this kind of stuff from the antivirus software and all these different types of things. We are very informed, but there's a massive ocean of work to do.
Yeah.
3 channels are offline. Damage has been done and we're in recovery mode and all that kind of stuff. But we know, we are very well informed. We know what's going on. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
No. Okay, well, I mean, yeah, so I guess the next thing for me is I rolled into office and was not surprised at all that you were already there. I wasn't sure. Maybe you passed out or whatever. I wouldn't have blamed you, but if there's still stuff to do, then it also didn't surprise me. And then I was making videos, and then so my focus for the rest of the day was, holy crap, how do we get this video about the hijacking out? And I'm thinking strategy, right? Because that's what I'm good at. Is okay, with all these pieces of information, how do I, what's the battle plan? What pieces can I move around on the board to execute methodically, right? And so I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, no, change of plans, no framework laptop video today, even if the channel comes back online. We need to get all the right people connected with all the right other people on YouTube because I know that I'm going to be basically MIA and not able to respond to them today. So I need to get all those contacts handed off. And then we need to figure out what are we going to do to keep all these scam notifications that the channel was sending out from affecting us algorithmically. So that was my focus. All right, so I need to get this video shot. And then we need to figure out what are we uploading when and if this channel comes back online, because what it was supposed to be was an update from Framework, the laptop company that I am invested in. That would have been great. It's a banger of a video, but would it be enough to give us the algorithmic
surge past
kick in the ass that we need to overcome whatever, because I mean, it's not like I didn't see people saying, yeah, I unsubscribed thinking it was like I was accidentally subscribed to Tesla or something. I didn't even realize that it was LTT that I was unsubscribing from. And I'm sitting here going, okay, how many of those people are there? What's the most effective way to reach them and get them back? And so I'm going, okay, no, we must, come hell or high water, make a video about this hijacking.
Which is a very good call.
While the momentum is still on our side, you know, on Reddit and on the LTT forum, on Twitter, in the community where people are still wanting to know, like, how do I upload my video about this before f***ing Asmongold, right? I mean, I'm not going to beat Moist Critical, okay?
Yeah, he's going to have it out right away.
Yeah, but if I can beat f***ing Asmongold to reporting on my own situation, then that's probably a good thing, right? So I'm kind of like, okay, here's this outline I wrote in the wee hours of the morning. I cannot write this video. I need you guys to go fill in these blanks. I left some blanks. I passed that off to James and Jake, who apparently also shared the load with Luke. I didn't even know, by the way, that you had a writing credit on it until you told me just now.
I don't even necessarily think I should have. Jake did like massively more than I did.
Then Jake brings me the script once I'm done, and I basically sit there and I full credit to Jake. Everything he did was great, but the problem was that
I did notice it was a bit different.
The problem was that I do edit our scripts, and I was not in a state of mind where I was really able to edit. So I sat with him for a little bit. I went through the technical parts, making sure that anything, because the session token thing is something I just learned about. Like, it's not like I didn't know what a session token was, but just the exact mechanism of the hijacking I wasn't familiar with, and you need to make sure you get these things right as much as you at least freaking can, right? Your crisis mode. So I basically went through, okay, so here's these details that I need to go through. Get the f out of my office in the nicest possible way. I was like, look, I don't think I can review someone else's work right now. I think I'm better off putting in my headphones and just banging this out myself.
You get into like the like survival mode functions of your brain are still running, so you can still dial in on a single task.
Yes,
but you can't, like, the other stuff starts to fade.
It starts to fall away.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I can't have someone next to me right now, like discussing this with me, because normally that's how we would go through and do script review, because that's how we end up with our best work is me and the writer sitting and collaborating on it. And we did that for a while, and I was just like, it's not that your ideas are bad or that the work you've done is bad or anything. I just can't do this right now. And I need to just focus, because this video must come up. Poor Hoffman was here editing until like after midnight, I think.
I was going to ask who did that.
Hoffman, superstar.
Good work. So there's one step that you don't know about. So that message where you decided, I don't think I necessarily even got it. I don't know. I got a lot of messages that day. The message where you decided, like, okay, no, this isn't Saturday's video anymore. This is now today's video. Yeah. We had to totally change the plan.
Oh.
Because I had stuff like, I wanted a thing in there where we showed like someone trying to get into their apartment building.
Oh, like B-roll and like...
Yeah, we had all these different things.
Oh, Jake wanted to get the compromised machine and the account opened back up and get the exact email for screenshots. Oh, yeah, I was like, nah, we got to strike while the iron's hot.
So, like, but we what I'm saying is we had one direction, and then we had to, like, change it pretty significantly. So most of my contributions were to the first direction, and then Jake had to, like, redo basically the whole thing, and I had to take off because there's too many other things going on. But yeah, what you were saying about like task delegation and stuff, my biggest goal was the show's got to go on, and by that I mean like the company needs to keep working. So I was like, okay, I'm getting offers for help from everyone on the planet, which I very much appreciate. Thank you very much. That's very cool. But I actually need all of you to keep doing your jobs, and I need like this small team of people, which ended up mostly just being the people that I normally work with, which is great. Need to like hammer this as hard as we can and try to solve things without disrupting too many other people's, flows and whatnot. So that was perfect that you went into like production mode That was exactly what I was hoping you would do.
Yeah.
Because like if we can have a handle on everything else, and you can keep doing that, that's the right move.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah, exactly. So like I was totally on board.
Hey, we still shot 6 videos this week, which is
I heard
LTT
you talking
quota.
to probably James about that, and you were like, "Hey, that's actually pretty good. It's
a pretty big W, all things considered."
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy.
I forgot. At some point, I went into CEO mode. Right, I remember. I was sitting on the set waiting for the shoot with the viewer. I was actually a little bit early to the office because Yvonne did not want to nap for 45 minutes. I really did after dropping the kids off, but before going to work.
Comments about that too.
Fine. So I was sitting on set and catching up on right, because I had stuff to do. But then I was like, oh crap, I should really like send out something. We had already sent a message much earlier in the morning going, hey, there's a situation. But I went into CEO mode and I basically wrote like a Q&A post.
Oh, this was a really good write-up.
I mean, when I'm not being distracted, like
You can do it.
I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, hey, all, I know from your one-on-ones that you prefer getting updates about this sort of thing on WAN Show. But not everyone has a float plane account, so it won't be possible to reach you all like that. I'll settle for a post on Teams and basically went through, okay, what happened? What's being done to fix it? What does it mean? Some good stuff. Should be more updates over the course of the rest of the day, maybe into tomorrow. And then I fell asleep in my chair, which obviously James took a picture of.
Okay, so I was going to ask, is that moment? Yeah.
That is not staged.
So wait, the laptop, you write that post, enter, gone.
I was out for probably about half an hour in that chair.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a framework laptop, so if it falls, who cares? I'll just fix it.
I tried to sleep 2 times. The first time, I think, was when I sent. Was this in? No. The first time was just in a lull of stuff. There was nothing that I could there were some things that I could like do. Like, I didn't get to do my normal job that day.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that I could do. But there wasn't anything disaster mode that I could do. So I even told Dan, I was like, all right, set an alarm I think it was his idea to set an alarm, however it worked. I don't know. Yeah. Time's an illusion. I'm going to set an alarm as well. I'm going to go lay down and try to sleep for like half an hour max. Because if I sleep for longer than that, it's going to be bad. But like getting some amount of energy gain now.
Like micro naps or whatever it's called is like good. But sleeping for an hour and a half or 2 hours, really bad.
Yeah. I don't remember why, but either way, I was aware of that. So I was like, okay, I don't know how long this is going to go. At this point in time, Google's kind of unsure, right? Yeah. So this could go into like the very wee hours of the morning.
Yeah. Oh, easy.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to get some energy back. I like send a couple messages, do a couple things, go sit down on the couch, send one more message on my phone, start leaning over to lay down, and ping. Okay. I need to go back and keep going. All right, so I get up, get back to my desk. No, that's not the case. A little while later, I'm like, okay, I have another lull again, whatever. I send you and Yvonne like a status update thing.
Yep.
And then I'm like,
which I do not remember reading, but I'm pretty sure it happened.
I know you reacted to it, but yeah, cool. Memory of things is wild. But yeah, I get confirmation from you guys that you've read it somehow. And then in there, I think is like, I'm going to go lay down, so call me if you need me. And then I did the same thing, set timers, whatever, go lay down. I do actually get to lay down this time.
Yeah.
So I'm on like the couch that's in the middle of the lab. If you haven't seen that video, it's actually fantastic. There's like fire in front of the lab building. It's a really cool walkthrough. But I'm on that couch that's still there. And I like, lay the sweater on top of me and whatnot so I can try to fall asleep. I think I'm down for like 5 minutes. And then it's go time again. I wasn't even fully asleep because my brain's churning through too many things. And I'm like, all right, okay.
Hey, wasn't there one where I said, or like you told me you were going to, what was this before the Google call?
This was right before the Google call.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
cool.
It was like the main thing for the whole night that we were waiting for happened right then. And it was like, all right, let's go. But that was so much fun. That was really cool. We got a lot of help from the people that got in, just wreaked havoc on the account in general. They were changing the status of a ton of videos. So public, private, unlisted. They were changing all that kind of stuff.
And that was just like out of pure malice. The first time I got in, even though the streams were going, nothing had really been touched other than the channel name. But then once I took the streams down once, they just started I think part of it is just keeping you on your heels. And that's a big part of why I wasn't able to pay attention to anything, because there was a new fire for me.
It makes sense.
Popping up while you guys are talking in my ear about, what it could be. And I'm sitting here going like, oh my God, everything's on fire, right? Like it's...
Yeah, so a bunch of videos that were private were made public and all these other types of things happened. So restoring our account, if they restored our account to, the minute that it was banned by them, then the account would be in a totally messed up state.
Yes.
And because there was a bunch of videos that were uploaded but never set to public, they were actually, what do you even call it? Published. They were published that day. So all these videos at the top of the channel are all these ancient, like, rough cut, not properly edited videos that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
At the top,
just
as the
garbage
most recent
footage.
thing. So it was an absolute mess. All the descriptions on the entire channel had a like crypto thing.
Yeah.
Appended to the top of them. It was a mess, and they worked with us to try to restore that. That was a very fun process. There's actually some like really, really powerful tools in the whatever it's called, content manager thing.
Yep.
I've never even seen them before, but they're very cool. The developer person from YouTube was extremely helpful, prepped a bunch of stuff for us, helped us out, and then like ran me through deploying it. They weren't able to do it themselves for some legal reason. As far as my brain guessing can confirm, I'm assuming it's because if they publish something on your behalf, it's them publishing it.
Yes.
So there's like issues with that.
Yep.
So we had to be the ones that actually did it, but they like really extremely helpful in walking us through.
This is crazy. Because I've been dealing with it and not reading articles about it, the amount of coverage there has been.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what did I just? What did I just show? I don't even know. I pressed Linus laptop, but my HDMI is unplugged, so I don't know what that was. But hopefully nothing.
It was nothing.
Good. Cool. Thanks, Dan. Good to know. I mean, he'd say that anyway, but
yeah.
okay, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm plugging in.
Well,
my
is it going to
HDMI.
work?
Just hold on.
Yeah, wait.
All right, cool.
Wait.
I will wait a second, and Dan will fix it.
Oh yeah, but there's tons of it.
It's crazy. Okay, so Lou from Unbox Therapy has 17,000 views on a stark warning after hack. I don't even think that's the only clip he did about it. Review Tech USA has 73,000 views on a video. Sam Time has 18,000. John Hammond, 75,000. Mental Outlaw, 236,000. Sorry. You know what? Some Ordinary Gamers, 441,000. Oh yeah, here's Lou's other video, 132,000. Chris Titus Tech, 56. UFD Tech, 327,000. Like, people were going...
UFD Tech was fast.
People are going everywhere, like trying to get more information about what's going on. And like, I'm sitting here going, oh, okay, I guess I probably should have posted some stuff about it. The one place I posted was on Floatplane.
Oh, yeah.
And I posted a text update. Oh, no, I guess I posted on Twitter as well, just to say I know so people would stop messaging me.
This is what I was going to say, though, about like the show's got to go on, is like all the different teams. Like, I don't know. I've been out of Linus Media Group for a while.
Yeah.
And I've been out of office for a while.
Wait, Ludwig has a video?
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't put my name in the title. I guess I wasn't...
He put your face there.
I wasn't keyword worthy enough. 1.1 million views. All right.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so I've been in my little developer bubble for a while.
Yeah.
Coming back in though, watching the machine churn
it churns
very
fast now.
Interesting. And like
it churns fast.
The social team is like all over this immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the interesting things to me. It's like, okay, yeah, we got obliterated, but the show's got to go on. So social team is like making memes about it.
Yeah, that was a big part of my message from the CEO, was the best FU that we can give to the hijackers is to not have any interruption to our business.
Yeah,
and the social team went hard.
Oh, yeah.
They went like savage in some cases. They went really hard. Some of the memes though are great, and
Really funny.
I can only take the tiniest amount of credit for it. The only thing I did is I wrote the caption for the one with me asleep in the chair. I did pretty good there, but I got to give James credit, not even the social team, but you got to give James credit for being on the ball, seeing me asleep when he was to call me to set, and instead of waking me, snapping a pic. You can tell that boy has gone to some frat parties.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to share my laptop screen now? Okay. Yep. Cool. All right. So, man, these guys were on it.
Oh, it was so, and there's so many posts, and that's definitely like what we should have done. And
This is
these
amazing.
are bangers. You Sleeping in the Chair has like almost 64,000 likes when it was viewed 2.8 million times.
Yeah.
Like
This RuneScape one,
so funny.
so good.
Oh man.
Like, just shout out. Okay, this one didn't get the most interaction, but I thought this is the one that made me laugh the hardest.
that was a MAC address tweet too. Yeah.
So
Which was
good.
like that's the time to roast, you know.
Right? I look really tall here. I definitely like that. What else we got? We still have jobs. Great.
Today seems like a great day to watch Short Circuit. That was funny. I don't know if it's still this way, but the forum, there's like a sidebar on the forum that links to different videos that we have from
And it
different
was
channels.
all Short Circuit.
It was all just like, yeah, okay, it's fixed. It's fixed. But I mean, when, you know, that's like pretty much it. It turns into just like the Jake's most recent video from Short Circuit column, which was just so funny. I don't know. It was even nice. Like my group of people was head in the flame the whole time. So every once in a while when you come up for air and there's just something that you can laugh at.
And it's funny. Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's nice. And then you can get back to it.
Exactly.
The float plane team, for like almost entirely unrelated reasons, which is unfortunate because we genuinely are rock solid the vast majority of the time. But we're trying to push this like really aggressive, and you know what? Let me check really quick. I'm going to potentially announce something. I just want to make sure that we're going.
Oh, boy.
We are. Let's send it. We for a long time haven't launched a ton feature-wise. There's a lot of reasons for that. But massive new thing is on the way, and it's on the beta site. There's beta.floatplane.com, and there's a lot of big changes with it. A big one is creator subchannels. This is like the main thing that we're talking about is creator subchannels. And you can check that out if you were subscribed to Linus Tech Tips. This is still in beta, so not all the other creators or none of the other creators have like set their channels up for this or gone through all that kind of stuff, but they will be working on it. But you can see all these different.
Oh, you can see we're still getting our processes figured out in terms of uploading. MAC address accidentally uploaded as Linus Tech Tips. We'll get that fixed.
Yeah, there's things going on. Also, we're still kind of figuring our stuff out. So there are still some problems on the beta site. It is a beta site, so it's kind of par for the course. But it's all broken up into these different subchannels. So we got a lot of feedback that people didn't like typing in the word exclusive if they wanted to search for all the exclusives on the site. So that's kind of where this concept comes from, is there's a subchannel for exclusives. So you just click on that. It has its own branding, all that kind of stuff. It's nice. You can now collapse the sidebar, which we got a bunch of feedback for. The player, not the full player update that we were hoping for like a long time ago, but the player does do more stuff. You can pop it out and then do other things on your computer and have it follow you around, or it will more aggressively attempt to fill the screen, which is also kind of cool. There's other little updates, stuff like that. So that showed up. There's also tons of other things changing in the back end and the front end and the app and all this kind of stuff. All of that was happening right now.
Yeah, cool.
And one of the major things that happened was we launched an app update. I'm pretty sure it was Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It finished propagating right around when all of this happened, and it had a little problem in it, which wouldn't have probably been that bad, but, because of all the other events going on, it was like the world's worst possible timing. So AJ and Jonathan and Jaden and Joe and everybody is like trying to put out every fire on the planet. Jaden's got this like whack-a-mole hammer and just going through, batching every single bug he can possibly find, and everyone else is doing things crazy. It was there's that whole like misery loves company thing, and I don't necessarily think this was misery because I had a wonderful time, but it's like dumpster fires. Float plane starts having issues for like realistically the first time in a long time. The server has like an SSD go out.
Oh my God.
Like, that's crazy. All the different things that like, this is really like never a problem. And then just all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom.
Well, when it
boom.
rains, it pours, right?
Everything possible just going off. It was crazy, but yeah. Did we miss anything?
I mean, we missed one big question that I got from someone, I don't know, like an hour ago. Who edited Naked Linus? Whose job was it to censor?
Well, I guess.
And the answer is Dennis.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say traditionally it's Dennis. So
Traditionally.
Did he well, someone asked me, they were like, wow, I can't believe someone had to edit Naked Linus. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't the first time, probably won't be the last. And it's always been Dennis, as far as I know.
The reason Dennis has ended up with naked footage of me is not because I sent it to him knowingly, but because Dennis keeps sneaking into my house and then taking security footage off of my cameras. So occasionally, I might be naked in my own damn house.
So he's already seen it.
So yeah, so realistically, you know,
that Band-Aid's already off.
yeah. But he did say that he has a technique now, and he didn't need to see anything more. And the technique is he blurs the whole screen.
Oh, and then like...
And then blurs less and less until he gets to, you know, minimal blurage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I liked the strawberry. That was tasteful.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, what else? I think that's mostly it. But my brain's fried, so might have missed some.
I gotta say it was really incredible waking up this morning, seeing just everyone coming watching the video, people still subscribing to Floatplane by the hundreds.
Oh yeah, we're gonna pass 40K like on this stream probably.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Are we really?
we're at 39,932.
We have gained 250 Floatplane subscribers while we've been sitting here.
Yeah, there's over 4,000 people watching live. I heard that number a while ago, so that might even be different at this point. But
that's incredible. You know what? It probably didn't hurt that that was about 2/3, I think, of the exclusive content that we have on Floatplane.
I think it's like almost 300 or it's 250 or something. There's well over 200 exclusive videos on the platform.
A lot of it's really